Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interactions. We have the 2020 feature, Sports with Brian Camp, and Entertainment News with DJ Pete. So settle in with coffee in hand, and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. Here we are again, another Friday morning, and we're coming to you live from New York City. My name is Frank Allan, and you are tuned to the Coffee Hour. That's what we are, and we're here for a whole full hour, as we hear every Friday. And for those of you here for the first time, we want to welcome you all aboard. Let me explain to you what the Coffee Hour is all about. It's a show where you can get involved in conversation as we conversate with all of you. We're on live. And we're everywhere around the world. There's not a place you can go around the world where you can't pick us up. And we're here. And for those of you who want to participate, all you have to do is let your fingers do the walking, use your keyboard, type in whatever you want to talk about, and we'll be in business. Now, we'll be here, as I said, for a whole full hour. And we come from 3 different places. We're live on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we're live on Instagram as well. So we want to say hi to each and every one of you. And you can choose whatever you want to tune into us each week. So we thank you again for being along with us. Now, for those of you who have been around with us for a long time, you already know the protocol. And for the people who are here for the very first time, you're just as important. We hope that you continue to come back again and again as you go through this show. We hope you stay with us for the whole hour. A lot of people are at work at this particular time. Now, if you're like me, if you're in the Eastern time zone, then you know it's after 10 o'clock in the morning. And if you're elsewhere, well, look at your clock, look at it very carefully, because that's the time we come on each week. So again, you know, stay with us for a whole hour. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to do our usual thing in conjunction with having you aboard with us so you can talk to us. We have our 2020 feature. We have usually 20 past the hour. Brian Camp comes in with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And he'll be here delivering all of that. There's a Super Bowl coming up this weekend, this Sunday to be precise. And we're waiting around for that, but we're going to keep that conversation closed until he gets here. However, Brian is going to be here a little bit earlier today. You know, he wants to adjust his time today because there's other things that he has to do today. So he's going to come on in just a couple of minutes, 5 minutes past the hour, he'll be coming on. Now, 20 to the hour, DJ Pete will come in. He has entertainment news, and he has that each week. He'll be here. We're going to link up with him from New York to Portland, Maine. And we're going to be talking to him. He's going to give us information on entertainment, news on entertainment, and reciting all of those birthdays of people of notoriety who are celebrating birthdays this week. So all of that's coming in. Also, I have for you later on in the program, as the program as it progresses. Get the words right. Let everybody know what you're talking about. As it progresses, later on in the program, before it's all over, I have, as usual, my picks of the week. Now, those of you who like those classic movies and you want to catch up on movies this weekend, you want to make that part of your action for this weekend. Well, I'm going to add a couple of movies to your things to do to watch this weekend. And you may be doing other things too, but maybe watching movies or some of the other things that you want to do. And of course, that's going to be competitive. A lot of people are going to be really competing with the Super Bowl on Sunday. So there's so much to do. There's so much to talk about. And of course, we want all of you to be aware of all of that. So that's all coming up. All of that coming up in 1 hour, and it'll be right here for you. So ladies and gentlemen, remember that all of the view and the opinions expressed on this show, the Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media or broadcast outlet. So everything is out of the way. So why don't we get together right now and do what we usually do and do best, raise our cups, because what would the Coffee Hour be without a little coffee? So excuse me while I shoot up. That's the first jolt of the day. It's always good to come along in the morning. It's great. I just love the mornings. I'm up at 5. You know, I'm doing a lot of things. A lot of people say, oh, you go sleep until it's time for you to do the show. I'm up real early than a lot of people know. This morning, I'm up at 5 a.m. I hit the gym. I come back and I get ready to do the show. And I'm all ready and pumped up and ready to go. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being aboard with us. As you already know, we're in the midst of Black History Month, and all this month, it started February 1st, started the first day of Black History Month, and all of this month we'll be celebrating Black History Month. There's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of things and a lot of events that will be happening, probably in your part of the country. And what we do is that we celebrate these things through TV shows and maybe movies and museums and all of those things that promote Black history. And so you can be involved in that, and you can go and participate in all of these things. And don't forget, you don't have to be African-American Black to be involved in Black History Month. It's for everyone to enjoy. Because remember, when we celebrate St. Patrick's Day, which is next month, the 17th of next month, everybody's going to be Irish, right? Including me. So we'll be wearing our green, and it's the same thing with Black History Month. Everyone can participate. And so that's what it is. So all of this month, that's what we got going. And Brian, of course, when he comes on sports, he would have a portion of dedicated to Black History Month, some sports news, but all of that is coming up. And it's all coming up right here. Now, don't forget, those of you who are watching us on Facebook, I want you to keep in mind that you can tag this show to all of your friends. Tag this show to all of your friends, right? They'll see it, they'll see you, they'll see me. And when they see that information, they'll click onto it and it'll bring them right to the room. And we advise you to do that because the more, the merrier. And those of you who are watching us on YouTube, click onto our YouTube channel, because the more that we get, the better for us. And when you click onto the YouTube channel, it gives you a chance to know when we come on live or when we post video or photos or anything like that. You'll get that notification providing you online to see that. And of course, the rest of you who are watching us on Instagram, all you have to do is just continue to follow us, And of course, we'll be looking out for you each week as well. Right now, as I said, we're going to go a little bit earlier now, and we're going to go over and have a little sports. Brian Camp, we're going to link up with him right now, and he's out of Charlotte, North Carolina. We can do that, and you get to see him right now. He has the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. There he is right there, and we've got some events coming along in sports as well, Brian.
Yes, we do. First of all, it's nice out here in Charlotte. The sun is out, it's warm, it's going up to 72 degrees today. And we're hoping for a nice weekend, although it's supposed to be raining.
Okay, he's freezing up a little bit.
Nice rain on Super Bowl Sunday. Gonna Super Weekend Bowl. People ask me, am I going to be smoking anything? Chicken wings, hot nachos, and that I could come up with. But it's going to be a typical food Super Bowl day, and it's the Philadelphia Eagles versus.
Brian, you ought to know that
Kansas City.
You ought to know that your image is frozen right now and you're coming in and out. And he just dropped out. Let's see, there he is. He's back again. Okay. Now we don't hear you. Because I know why we don't hear him. Because his mic is not on. Why don't you turn your mic on? We don't hear him because his mic is off. Okay. Ask to unmute. How do we do that? Okay, your mic is not on. Can you turn your mic on? He's frozen again. Okay, we're gonna get back. Okay, I hear you now, but now you're frozen again.
I mean,
you're coming in and out, and you're back and forth. I'm not sure what's going on. You dropped out at one particular point. Okay.
Super Bowl Sunday,
Yeah.
Kansas City versus Philadelphia. That game will be at Fox at 6:30. So hope that everybody will tune in. Rihanna's going to be the entertainer for halftime. It should be a great Super Bowl. This day in sports, February 10th, 1925, the American League decides to alternate leagues for game one of World Series each year. 1961, the AFL, LA Chargers moved to San Diego. Since then, they moved back a couple of years ago. They're back in Los Angeles. So they're back as the Los Angeles Chargers. 1971, Bill White becomes the first African-American baseball announcer. He was announcer of the New York Yankees, partnered with Don Messer and Phil Rizzuto. That used to come on WPIX back in the day. 1989, Casey Jones and Lenny Wilkens elected to NBA's Hall of Fame. They got the induction. Birthdays today, 1966, Darrell Moose Johnson, NFL running back born in Yorktown, New York. 1974, Ty Law, NFL cornerback born in Alakepa, Pennsylvania. 1976, Lance Bergman, Major League Baseball first baseman, was born in Waco, Texas. Yes, Waco, Texas. There's a small note. I know this is Black History Month. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But on this day, the 13th of February, will mark 103 years that the Negro League, the old Negro League, started. Started in 1920, and it ended in 1950. So it lasted for 30 years with, in between time, they had some cancellations of different Negro leagues to form into one. But after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier back in 1947, the league had just folded up, and we owe gratitude and to the person who started this here. His name is Mo Andrew Rube Foster, considered one of the best African-American pitchers in the 1900s. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1981. Yes, so we thank him. It produced some great players like Ernie Banks, Roy Campanella, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and of course, the great Jackie Robinson, who paved the way. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is sports.
Go ahead.
That is sports on a busy weekend to be.
Okay. All right. Before we got on the air this morning, DJ Pete gave me a call. He wanted me to relay to you, since you were doing some of the reporting. Maybe you didn't know about it, but in his area in Portland, Maine, the Harlem Globetrotters were in town.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
Harlem
Globetrotters.
I don't know if you know if you knew that or not, but he just wanted me to relay that too. But he's going to talk more about it when he comes on as well. But there's a team right there that never loses a game.
Actually, they did lose. They lose quite a few games. They lost a game. I mentioned it a couple of broadcasts ago that they did lose a game. Yes, the Harlem Globetrotters are not the only team to ever go undefeated. They did lose to the Washington Generals. I mean, that's probably one out of every 5,000 games, I guess. But yes, they did lose it. They did lose that game. Yes.
Traditionally, they're not supposed to lose. Traditionally.
Yes. Traditionally, yes, exactly. But they did lose the game, though.
And they don't play nothing but the Washington Generals. Anyway, DJ Pete also told me that Harlem Globetrotters became a family team. It's a family-owned team now.
Okay.
So he brought, but he's going to talk more about that too as well. But okay, I know you got to go. And by the way, he wanted you to come along on the air with them to talk about it, but I don't know that you can do that.
I could try. I could try. Let's see what happens around the 10:40 hour, right?
Okay, we'll see.
Okay.
Okay. In the meantime, we'll talk to you later.
All right then. Take care.
Take care of yourself. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye. Okay,
ladies and gentlemen, that's Brian Kemp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. Actually, he came in a little early. He usually do part of the 2020 feature, but he came in a little early today because he has things to do. And if Pete is watching right now, Brian is going to try to get along, get on the air with you. I know that you requested to do that. And so I'm trying to help out with that. So he said he's going to try. So we'll keep things open when you come on. DJ Pete will be here 20 to the hour with his second half of the 2020 feature. And he'll be talking about the Harlem Globetrotters. And of course, the main thing is entertainment, which of course is the Harlem Globetrotters entertainment news, and reciting all of those birthdays of people of notoriety. That's all coming up. And we thank you so much for being along. Now you can get involved in the show. All you have to do is, as I said earlier in the show, use your fingers, let them do the walking, use your keyboard, and get on. And if you have any questions, even if you just want to say hi, that's good. Or talk to the rest of the people who are here now. Even if you want to do that, that would be great. And we'd love to hear from you. Now, if you're going to indulge in conversation with us, why don't you let us know where you're from? That's important. We want to know where you're from around the world, where you're from, and give us a weather forecast from where you are. And even if it's nighttime where you are, give us a weather forecast where you are so we can share it with others. Now, if you're living in the New York area, where I am on the East Coast, in the vicinity of New York City, don't worry about that. I will take care of that. You guys dodged a bullet. But for the rest of you guys, give us a little weather forecast, and we would really appreciate that. So I'm going to give you my weather forecast right now. We've got a pretty good weekend underway, or coming underway. It's 56 degrees right now. That's what we have for the time being right now. And we are going to get plenty of sunshine. That's on the horizon for this weekend. And I'm loving this. Mainly sunny. We'll have a high around 57 degrees. That's the high. And you know something? That's pretty warm. We kind of have a warm streak here in the New York area. So that's pretty warm. 57 degrees. Winds will be west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For tonight, Friday night, a few clouds developing. We'll have a low 34 degrees. It'll be dry. Winds will be west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And then tomorrow, okay, sun brightens up again, mainly sunny skies once again. We got a high of 47 degrees. Winds will be northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. If you're going out on the town for Saturday night, we got partly cloudy skies during the evening, and we'll give way to cloudy skies overnight. We'll have a low of 34 degrees. Winds will be light and variable, but there's no wet weather in the forecast, not even for Sunday, although Sunday is going to be overcast, but you don't have to use the umbrella. I mean, you can take it with you for safety like a lot of people do, but the way it looks right now, it's just going to be overcast skies. 49 degrees, winds will be light and variable. And speaking of all of that, our present temperature again is 56 degrees at this time, and it's only after 10 o'clock here in New York. But we've got 56 degrees outside right now. And what's your weather like? Let us know. When you come in and you want to talk to us, let us know. Give us a weather forecast so we can have something to talk about. Share all of those things with you. And if you want to share other things, that's what this show is all about. It's free exchange and ideas of opinions. And we thank you guys for being along for this day. And it's the 10th day of February. So we're in the second month of a brand new year, and things are moving right along. And before you know it, summer will be back. I can't wait for it. Don't want to rush it too much. We want to get everything out of the way right now. But we're into the midst of the light. You know, when you get to those holidays, the Thanksgiving holiday and the Christmas holiday, you're kind of like in the tunnel because you're spending so much money, and then when all of that is over, you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and now you can look forward to brighter things like summer that's coming up. So all of that is coming up, and we're looking forward to it. Now, I know that I'll have to say this now because by the time we come back here next week, it will have come and gone, and I'm talking about Valentine's Day. We got Valentine's Day coming up the 14th of February, which is coming up this Tuesday, Valentine's Day, and people are looking forward to a lot of things. Where the ladies are looking forward to that hot shake candy box with plenty of chocolates in there. They don't mind deviating from their diet at that particular point because all of the chocolates will be there, and the flowers and all the other gifts that you know that your significant others would like, treat them nice, and listen, ladies, guys like chocolate too, we like chocolate too. They used to say a long time ago, Valentine's Day only went one way. A long time ago it only went one way. And that's when the man came in with a box of chocolate and a bushel of flowers and present it to their significant other. That's how it was before, but ladies, guys like that too. So, maybe exchange boxes of chocolate. I don't know. Or something else. But yes, Valentine's Day is coming around, and of course, everybody is looking forward to it. And as Brian mentioned, we've got Super Bowl coming up. We got a Super Bowl Sunday coming up, and a lot of people are looking forward to that. I know I'm looking forward to that. Rihanna is going to be performing halftime at the Super Bowl, and I already predict that she did a good job already, even though it didn't happen yet. But I will predict that she's going to knock it right out of the park come this Sunday. So that's coming up, Super Bowl. And who is your choice? I don't know. I'm going to tell you guys right up front. Even though they're not my team, neither of these teams are my team. You got Kansas City and you've got Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm going to go for Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia takers. I think, although they're the underdogs for this game, but it's going to be a historical thing, because this is the team where you have on each side, you have two Black quarterbacks. And also you have two brothers on each team, right? Competing with each other. And that's something else. I saw the mom being interviewed yesterday on CNN. And so I don't know if she's in a good position, because she has two sons that she has to root for, but only one of them could win the game. So we'll have to see. Either way, she's going to be a proud mom either way, because either way, one of those guys are going to win, whether it's from Philadelphia or whether it's from Kansas City. But the mom is wishing both of their boys a lot of luck. But either way, whoever wins, she's a winner herself. Wow, I wouldn't want to be put in that position, Okay, and we also have entertainment news, of course, and here's something that we're so sorry to talk about. Burt Bacharach, the acclaimed composer and songwriter behind dozens of mellow pops hits from the 1950s through the 80s, including Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, Close to You, which the Carpenters did back in the 60s. Or was it the early 70s, I believe? Yeah, it was somewhere in the early 70s. And songs like that. And also he did the theme from the movie Arthur. Well, he passed away Wednesday at his home in Los Angeles, California. Bacharach scored major hits from top 40 to country to rhythm and blues and film scores. And he wrote hit songs for a wide range of artists, which one of his favorites were Dionne Warwick, and he had Dusty Springfield, Tom Jones, Neil Diamond, and I mentioned the Carpenters, along with Christopher Cross. And he died at the age of 94 years old. And all of these years, he has been putting great music together. He even composed a lot of music that was fit for what they used to call back in the early 60s beautiful music. Now they call it I don't know, they have so many names for it, but it used to be called beautiful music back in the 60s. But they changed the names all the time, and now it's called not just light music, or there's another name for it that's in the back of my head, easy listening music. That's what they call it today, easy listening. It used to be called, and then some people call it elevator music. You go into the elevator and you hear that kind of music. Well, that's the kind of music that he wrote and composed. And so he went through all of these phases, like I said, country, rhythm and blues, all of the music, and all of the people who were in his stable. And so we thank you, Mr. Bacharach, Burt Bacharach. We thank you so much for your music, which will be around forever. And after all of us, the rest of us who are here and we are long gone, your music will still be here. And for other people who will be behind us to enjoy. And of course, we'll be listening to that. And thank you also for elevating some of the people we just mentioned, elevating their careers, making great careers out of it. So he did his job. He did a wonderful job at the age of 94 years old. He's no longer with us, Burt Bacharach. We want to send out prayers to all of our brothers and sisters out in Turkey. Turkey, you heard about that earthquake out there, right? And I got to tell you, I saw the news images, and some people were under that rubble. There was a lot of rubble all around. And a lot of people didn't survive. And as we speak right now, the death toll is still going up, even as we speak right now. But they were able to rescue a lot of people, especially these children. And I looked at, there was one little boy and one little girl that was buried under the rubble for 2 days. A child for 2 days. That's amazing. 2 days. They're doing fine right now. And when I was watching the news yesterday, I saw these images, and as the news reporters, they panned their cameras to all of the devastating areas, like buildings falling and all the dust, and then panning their cameras towards kids, and kids are smiling and waving after all of that. You know, a lot of people, no homes and nowhere to go. And there is a website. I'm going to try to get that for you later when DJ P comes on the air. I'm going to look it up while he's on the air and see if I can get that information to you where you can make a contribution to help out these people. And so, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much. And again, prayers for the people over there who have been around there, and the earthquakes, boy, sometimes they can get very, very nasty. You know, sometimes in certain parts of the world, and even like in California, you have tremors, and every once in a while they may get the big one. But we pray for these people and they have to rebuild all over again. They have to do all of that all over again. So we're waiting around we're keeping our eyes open for all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan. We're going to be around with you until the top of the hour. That's coming up. If you are watching us on Facebook, once again, please take the time to, while we have time left, to tag your friends so they could see that we're on the air. You could tag them. They'll see you, they'll see the fact that you tagged them, and they'll click onto that, and it'll bring them right here to us. And if they like what they see, if they like what they hear, possibly they can be regulars just like you. And again, for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, remember you can go onto our YouTube channel, which we urge you to do, and click on to the little sign. Sometimes it's red, sometimes it's black, but it always says subscribe. Click onto that subscribe button. Now that subscribe button, let me explain something to you. A lot of people say, I don't know if I want to spend money on that. You don't have to. There's no money to be spent here. All you have to do is just click onto that button, and that keeps you in touch with us. And that will give you a chance, as I said earlier, to know when we are on the air, when we come on the air live. It will give you notification. And it'll also give you notifications when we post a video, or if we post a photo or anything like that. You'll be part of the family. So please subscribe to us today. Tell your friends about us. Bring them along each week. And those of you, again, who are watching us on Instagram, thank you so much for being along with us and being part of us each week, as you always are. So we just want to give you that howdy wave. Weekend is coming up, and I know a lot of you who are watching may be on your coffee hour right now. So what we want you to do is to take your coffee hour, right, and sit at your desk. Sit at your desk and stop roaming around and enjoy the 15-minute coffee break and watch us at the same time. And then when your coffee break is over, you can go back to work. You could do what they call multitasking. That means you could still work and watch the show at the same time. So we hope that you stay with us for the balance of the hour. You might as well. We don't have that much longer to go. You might as well hang around. Okay. So anyway, excuse me while I shoot up. And I'm pretty sure you heard in the news about the Chinese surveillance camera. Now, they're still working on that. They're still trying to get a hold of that. The Chinese surveillance balloon that floated all around, well, they shot that down last Saturday, to be exact. Last Saturday, they shot it out of the air. Now, according to the news reports, this Chinese surveillance balloon has equipment to monitor U.S. signals or anything that we have. They could pick signals up from the U.S. Now, I'm not sure why they're doing that or why it's happening, but we do know that it was demolished last Saturday, and fortunately, it didn't hit ground. It didn't hit solid ground. It went to the ocean. And so they fished the debris out of the ocean. They're getting these parts together. Trying to find the equipment. There was equipment in there, again, like I said. So we're still getting more information. I also heard the story too, that that they were more sightings of more balloons. I've heard that story. How true that is, we're gonna have to dig further into that and find out for sure. But I do understand there were more sightings. And so we don't know how many more, if there are more, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 more, I don't know. But it's rough. It's rough. And so we're trying to find out what the story is. I also noticed too, during this whole rigmarole, I noticed that people were, posting the sightings of the balloon, and they're trying to make jokes about it. And some people were making comments about it, which I didn't particularly find funny myself, but some people find these things funny. But I know people made comments on their Facebook page or other social media page, and I read some of them. I didn't read them all because I was kind of like really done with it. But there are some, not everyone, but some are making comments like the Chinese surveillance balloon is hovering over. They're sending in my order. Now I don't have to spell that out for you. All right. I just thought that was degrading. And I still do. And there were other images where they had the balloon there, and at the bottom of the balloon had one of those Chinese food containers, and then there was another image of people. Remember Chris Christie, that iconic photo when he's leaning back in a beach chair, folding his arms or whatever. They had a picture of that photo dangling from the balloon. But the thing that bothered me the most is people making these comments, these kind of, which I thought were racist comments about the Chinese surveillance balloon. And when you get images like my order just came in, or made my order 5 days ago, or whatever it was, these things, it bothers me. The thing what I wanted to talk about is that a lot of people do that, and sometimes they do it unconsciously. Maybe they think they're funny when they do it. But you got to remember one thing, ladies and gentlemen, we have enough of this going around from a lot of people doing all of these things, saying racist remarks and doing it openly. And I'm not saying that the people who posted these images, maybe they're doing it for a kick, or like I said, maybe they think it was funny or whatever, but you got to remember something, something. Let's say, for instance, you're from another race of people, right? And I'm not going to pick out any, just at random, some other race. You're another race of people, and someone did that to you, or said something about that was very offensive to your race of people, right? You think about that, and if it offends you, and in the meantime, you're doing all of this, so let's keep that in mind. I just didn't think it was funny. It was ridiculous, and I just didn't take too kindly to it. So let's keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that this is a world that we're trying to clean up, and we're trying to clean up a lot of racial tensions, and we're trying to get these boneheads in Washington to understand that. Well, I can go on about Washington for days, but I don't want to waste a whole time on the show for that. Anyway, that's the story on that, and I just wanted to talk about that. And I'm pretty sure all of you guys saw the the president's State of the Union address, which of course I tried to watch. I got to admit, I didn't see the whole thing the whole time. I didn't see all of it. It was a pretty long speech, lasted for over 2 hours or so. But I didn't get a chance to see. I saw some of the highlights, and whatever I missed, of course, you always pick it up on the news feeds. You always pick it up later, and then you get to understand it. Because sometimes you don't have to watch everything in its entirety. It's just like a soap opera. You don't have to watch a soap opera in its entirety. You can miss a day, but still catch up on things. And the State of the Union, of course, you already know, you've seen what happened. The President of the United States was heckled by some of the people, and I'm talking about the real way to the right Republicans. You know, do I have to mention any names? You know, they were there and they were heckling him and calling him liar and booing and things like that. I mentioned one person because she really made a real big clown out of herself. I'm talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. All right, she out of all the people, they target her because she was the only one that had that. Instead of some people booed, but they sat in their seats and did it. But no, she had to stand up and make a spectacle out of herself. And then the following day, of course, they used her image and they attached her image with other images, such as a image. The one that got me is someone was clever enough to make an image of her on one side and the image of a donkey opening up her mouth. You know, you saw the part when she was just opening up her mouth, screaming, liar, liar, liar. And they had her image there. And then next to her was the image of a donkey with the donkey's mouth open. That shows you what they were talking about. And then the other images of other animals with their mouths open, you know, making a sport of her. And then there was another image, of course, it was a cartoon image. You remember that cartoon, 101 Dalmatians, and the lady that wore the furry thing around her neck, which of course Marjorie Taylor Greene was wearing. I don't know why she would dress up something like that for an occasion like that, but she did, and they used that image against her. And so you got to be very careful on how if you're going to go out there and post images, post the very best images of yourself if you're going to post anything at all. You know, because people have a tendency of using your images against you. You know, and remember that your images, once it's out there, it's public consumption. You know, there's nothing you can do about it. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't participate in social media, because they don't want to post their pictures or anything like that. But once if you're a public person, of course, you're a public person, your images are going to be out there every day, 24 hours, 7 days. It's out there and there's nothing that can be done about it. So your images are out there for the world to see, you know. So, you know, you try to make, and I always say this to my friends who are in the public eye, and I do it myself. I try to post the very best images as I can. I don't want to cause anything that will incriminate me or cause scandal. You know, I'm very cognizant about that. But so watch out, because people could use your image against you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being along with us. And the other thing I wanted to say too about the president's speech, ladies and gentlemen, you know, when they did that, when they started booing him and heckling him, you know, I thought it was childish. And then later on, Marjorie Taylor Greene said she didn't deny that, you know, that she did it. She couldn't deny that she did it. As a matter of fact, she just said he got what he deserved, and she wouldn't take it back. You know, some people just don't care. I don't even know if she watches herself on TV. These people, do they watch themselves on TV? Because sometimes if you see yourself in a light, you watch yourself on TV and you say, why did I say that? Why did I do that? You know, what? Wow, I got to clean that up. People don't care. People don't care. All right, but anyway, you know the old saying, chickens coming home to roost. You get back what you put out. And so be very careful on what you put out. It can cost you a lot. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's now coming up to 20 minutes to the hour, which, you know, it means it's time to go to Portland, Maine right now. And DJ Pete is in with us, and he's got entertainment news. And DJ Pete, how are you today on this Friday? Let's see if we hear from him. Let's see, do we have DJ Pete? Are you out there? Okay.
Test 1, 2.
There he is.
There we are.
He had his mic off because I saw
everything on.
There he is. He's live. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Frank. Good morning to you, everybody out there. Brian, tuning in today.
Yeah.
A lot of great announcements for this week here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with Red Buttons, actor and comedian, born February 5th, 1919, born in Manhattan, New York City. His name was Aaron Schwat, if I'm pronouncing that right, but they called him Red Buttons, and he had a great career as an actor on stage. I'm doing these very, very brief today. Bob Marley, excuse me, February 6, 1945, Jamaican singer, musician, songwriter, one of the pioneers of reggae music, which came from ska and rocksteady music. If everybody knows what ska music is, it's sort of the faster version of reggae. But being in Jamaica, it was too fast for the heat down there. So reggae, formed out of that, and Bob Marley was one of the pioneers in the reggae sound. Let's see, who else do we have? Warren Smith, February 5th, 1932, American rockabilly, country music singer and guitarist, born in Humphreys County, Mississippi. His famous song was You Bangy Stomp, if I'm pronouncing that right. Recorded and worked at Sun Records with Sam Phillips. Recorded a song with Roy Orbison, So Long I'm Gone, and was behind the scenes for Jerry Lee's Whole Lot of Shaking Going On recording. Let's see, who else do we have? James Dean, actor James Dean, February 8th, 1931, died September 30th, 1955. He was like one of the first cultural icon teenage actors that the teenagers loved in the movies. Rebel Without a Cause, East of Eden, which I believe a Bill Haley song came out of that. That's that film. Born, let's see, Marion, Indiana, back in the day there. So he became popular because, back in the day, and especially since he died young. It was a tragic death that he had. Let's continue on with Floyd Dixon, February 8th, 1929, American rhythm and blues pianist and singer, born in Marshall, Texas. Had a great career of some blues tunes. He in the 40s and 50s, he did some interesting recordings, songs called Red Cherries, Wine, 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 Too Much Jelly Roll, things like that. He replaced Charles Brown in Johnny Moore's band, the Three Blazers, in 1950. He worked with a lot of great people back then, did some recording from Specialty Records, Cat Records, and Atlantic Records, 1954. Hey Bartender is his signature song. Let's see, Lonnie Johnson, February 8th, 1899. American blues and jazz singer, guitarist, violinist, and songwriter. Pioneer jazz guitar, jazz violin. First person to record an electrically amplified violin, too. Born in New Orleans, Louisiana, he worked with a lot of great people. Louis Armstrong, and many more people back in the day. Duke Ellington, too, I think he worked with. Let's see, Ernest Tubb, February 9th, 1914, nicknamed the Texas Troubadour, American singer-songwriter, one of the pioneers of country music. His biggest career hit song, Walking the Floor Over You, it sort of started the rise of the honky-tonk style of country music back in the day there. Jimmy Durante, February 10th, 1893, American actor, comedian, singer, and pianist. He had a very distinctive, gravelly speech, Lower East Side, New York accent, very comedic actor, from Jimmy Durante there. And finally, I have Bobby Pickett, February 11th, 1938. Singer, songwriter, actor, and comedian, known for his novelty song, the Monster Mash. He was born nearby in Somerville, Massachusetts. And he recorded that with Leonard Capizzi in 1962, the Monster Mash. And they sort of did their impersonations of Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi in it. But Bobby was also a pretty well-established country music singer, musician also. I've heard some of his country stuff back in the day there. And so that's what I have. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about the Harlem Globetrotters that I got to work the show last night here in Portland.
You requested that Brian be on with you today.
Yeah. So I don't know if Brian wants.
I managed to get him, and there he is, right there, right now. Yeah.
So it was a great game. They beat the Washington Generals, of course. I was there working behind the scenes, keeping track of the score and the time, and it is a pretty interesting challenge trying to keep an eye on who's scoring and what the officials were calling for the score there. But it was a great game. They did their great antics. I remember seeing, a lot of people like you, Frank, and Brian would remember the 1970s team with Meadowlark Lemon and Curly and all those guys back in the day. I remember seeing them at least once.
Yeah.
And I saw some other and heard about some other Harlem teams. And I asked someone from the Harlem Globetrotters last night. I heard about this team a long time ago, the Harlem Diplomats and the Harlem Satellites. And he's like, they got nothing to do with us. They are just other people, back in the day trying to do, a little entertainment thing. But the Harlem Globetrotters, I got a little history of them. They originated in the south side of Chicago in 1926. And they were called the Chicago Globetrotters back then. 1928 to 29, they were called the New York Harlem Globetrotters. And then 1929 to present, just the Harlem Globetrotters there. And they are owned by the Hirshend Family Entertainment Company.
Some feedback here. That's coming from Brian. I don't know. He's dropping it out.
Yeah, he probably has a bad signal or something down.
Yeah. All right. So,
but yeah, it was great to see them last night. And if they're in your neighborhood, check them out. They're it's an amazing team, and some of the great stuff they did, like we saw decades ago. They still do, and they do some other funny stuff too. So.
He's there, but he doesn't have. There he is, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Yeah. I'm sorry. It's just that I have my plugs in, so that's why I wasn't able to hear you.
Yeah.
Or that's why the feedback.
Well, you missed the conversation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I was listening in. The family owned by the Globetrotters and everything. Yes, I was listening. How you doing, Pete?
Good. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing well. I can't complain.
Yeah. So I wanted to know, if you had anything to say about the Globetrotters.
I just know that
on
they're
the
the most
sports side.
entertaining basketball team that I've ever met. From throwing fake water into confetti on people, and they always put on a great show. Always.
They always do.
Yeah.
I like I said, I never had a chance to or the pleasure to meet the guys or even go to a game, but the kids get a blast out of it. Kids get a blast out of it, and I'm glad that they came to your place in Portland, Maine, Pete. So there were a lot of kids in the audience when you were working the show.
Oh yeah. It's an entirely kids family show.
Yeah.
And it's funny, they brought this little girl out. She must have been like 4 or 5 years old, and they gave her something to hold like this, and they spun a basketball and they stuck it on it, and she's holding it up like this. It was pretty cute.
Yeah.
See that. but yeah, I mean, it's before the game started. There was some. There was like some younger kids playing basketball that they had set up from locally. Basketball teams, and yeah, it's very very family kids oriented entertainment.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I'm going to look up. I'm going to look up their all time record of wins and losses. On probably the next broadcast, it's probably like 10,000 wins and maybe 3 losses. But I want to give you that information the next time I come on.
Okay, that would be great. Okay, and Pete, before you go, let's give us your quickly talk about your radio.
So let's see. I am on WMPG radio usually every other Tuesday night. Just tune in Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. to 10. You're either going to hear me or DJ Faulty, who does a jazz show, and we usually go every other Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. to 10 Eastern Time. This month we're swapping around. I also have a special radio show on Fat Tuesday. I actually got 2 shows, and you can tune into WMPG Radio to hear those on February 21st. I'm also on radio airwaves most Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm probably going to be starting the end of February, and doing what I can for that. You can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff. And let me do the weather. Let me do the weather here. I was going to do the weather, and let me bring that up here. There it is. Here in Portland, it's mostly cloudy right now, but it's going to be
44 degrees.
Yeah, well, it's the high's going to be 51 today. Lows 31. Let's see, humidity 48, precipitation 1, so not much is going to happen there. Winds out of the east at 15 miles an hour, UV index 2 out of 10. And that's what I got for weather.
Okay, guys, listen, I'm going to run, but Brian, thanks for coming back. DJ Pete, we'll see you guys both back here next week. How about that?
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Right?
It's a plan.
Okay. So
prediction for the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, let's hear that, Brian.
Kansas City 35, Philadelphia 31.
I'm not giving any scores, but I'll just say Philadelphia. You got one, Pete?
I am going to be rating the commercials, which I've done for the last number of years. And I'll tell you why. The best commercial that was back in the 1990s. I forget what Super Bowl it was, but The actor who plays George on Seinfeld. What's his name? Do you remember his name at all? Anyway,
Jason Alexander.
yes. And so he's with, I think, Lloyd Bridges, and the commercial was for rolled gold pretzels or something like that.
Yeah.
And so the scene is he's in an airport with his little dog. His dog runs off. He runs after his dog. The dog goes onto a plane. Jason chases him onto a plane.
Yeah.
The door closes. It's Lloyd Bridges with a platoon of like Marines or Army paratroopers or something like that. They take off. He jumps out of the plane with the dog. Okay. They cut from that commercial to a live camera at the Super Bowl. And here comes Jason with the dog strapped to him, parachuting in to the Super Bowl. Okay. That going from a recorded thing to a live shot was an amazing feat that the people behind the scenes did and pulled off great. That was one of the best commercials ever. You can, yeah, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube if you look.
Oh, there's a ton of great commercials.
Yeah. But I think that personally, that is my favorite one, and always will be.
All right, we'll check out more. I'll see you guys back here next week. All right, have a great week.
Take care.
All right.
Take care.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was DJ Pete and, of course, Brian Camp. Together once again, there we are. And that was DJ Pete with wrapping up his portion of the 2020 feature. Of course, Brian in there as well. Birthdays today, actress Lauren Dern is 56 today. Composer Peter Allan, the late Peter Allan, is 79. Jimmy Merchant of Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers is 83 today. Singer Roberta Flack is 86. Actor Robert Wagner, 93. Opera soprano Leontine Price is 96. The late Lon Chaney Jr., Lon Chaney Jr., who played the original Wolfman. He would have been 117. And jazz drummer, the late Chick Webb, who played for Ella Fitzgerald, would have been 118. Those are the birthdays today. I want to quickly tell you about the movies that I have. Of course, movies coming along. Turner Classic Movies. I have my picks of the week. So here are two that I have today. One commemorating Black History Month, A Soldier Story from 1984, starring Adolph Caesar. And of course, that comes on Turner Classic Movies. You can check that out Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's A Soldier Story. And then you have Clash of the Titans of the summer of 1981, Laurence Olivier and Harry Hamlin. And that comes on Turner Classic Movies too. You can check that out. That's on Sunday at 1:45 p.m. Eastern. And of course, if you'd like to check out more movies on Turner Classic Movies, go to Turner Classic Movies, scroll through the program guide, look and see, because there may be more that you may like that I didn't mention, but these are only my picks. Go and check those out and check other things. Go on demand. Check out all of the great movies. You see the new movies, the older movies, and the up-to-date movies too. So you can check them all out. So let me tell you about these movies once again. You have The Soldier Story at Adolph Caesar. That's Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and Clash of the Titans starring Laurence Olivier and Harry Hamlin. And that's Sunday at 1:45 p.m. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, please do that. You can email me, frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Or you can call me at 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Remember, when you email me, make sure you get the spelling right. Allan is spelled A-L-L-A-N. That's Frank Allen Prod. Prod is P-R-O-D. Prod stands for production. That's short for production. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Again, you can call 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for today. I am ready to head for the weekend, and we will be back here next Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for the show Talk Back Live. Brian Camp will be with me with the latest developments in today's world of sports. He'll be around for that. And of course, you will be there too. Hopefully, we'll see you then. Other than that, I will be back here next week for more of the coffee hour. Again, Brian Camp with the 2020 feature, 20 past the hour with sports, and 22 the hour DJ Pete. As you already seen them both, we'll be here with, of course, entertainment news, and of course, bringing all of those birthdays of people of notoriety. I had a blast. I hope you did too. I will be seeing you soon. Until then, have yourself a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day. Don't want to forget that. Make sure you be nice to your significant other. Happy Valentine's Day, and I'll see you guys next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.